back, everybody, and thank you so much for joining me. It is so great to be making videos in the new year, 2023. This year, I hope we're going to kick it off great and just do a video every single week for you with fresh new content. I was brainstorming a bunch of topics over the holidays, so I'm really looking forward to just doing these videos week in and week out because they're actually a lot of fun for me and they make me stay in touch with the market. So let's dive into the monthly stats from December. Before I go too much into detail, I want to direct your attention to the link below. If you're looking to buy or sell real estate in Hamilton this year, or any year really, let me know. Go to that link. You can use it to book a call with me at a time that is convenient for you. So let's jump into these stats from December, what we saw. We use this graph every month if you've been following these videos just to kind of go on the trend that has been happening year over year. You can see here that we have started to decline. We had a bit of an uptick in October, but since then things have genuinely gone down, most importantly with this metric here, which is the average sale price. So the average sale price, $750,000. Now bear with me guys, I haven't gone through this yet, so I'm actually going through this live while I'm filming this with you right now, but we're going to talk our way through it. So 750 was the average price. I did have last month's numbers, and it was 761. So month over month, it looks like we've gone down about another couple percent with residential properties in terms of average price, but look at that year over year. 14.6. Now this is starting to line up with those negative articles that you've probably been reading over the last few months. 14.6%. Well, over the last year, really, people saying how much it's going to drop, but 14.6% year over year, which still isn't terrible because considering during the pandemic we were increasing 20 to 30% a year, so you still really haven't lost that much value when we look at it from December to December. Let's look at the amount of sales here. All right, so total sales in December, this is incredibly low, 284 sales. To put this into comparison, in September, October, and November, we were averaging about 425 to 450 sales a month, which is already lower than the 10-year average. Now in December, to have 284 sales just shows how much this market has slowed down, okay? This is in all of Hamilton in 1 month. This is insane. We used to, in the spring, see this many listings in a day. So the fact that we're only getting this many sales in an entire month, to put into perspective, just shows how low this is. Like I said, November was 425, now we're at 284. Huge drop, which could also be just the lack of inventory, because I have been working with buyers and I do notice that during December there was not a lot of inventory. And then of course you have the 2 weeks of the holidays, which I'd like to say slowed things down, but I did a couple deals over the holidays, so I guess, I don't know, it's all relative to who's looking. But if you're looking to buy and you're serious about buying, unfortunately it doesn't look like there's a lot of inventory out there right now for you. Let's jump down to new listings. So new listings last month, December, we had 350 new listings come up. So, wow. Okay, I just looked at last month's number. This is why I'm saying wow. So in November, we had 791 new listings. Here we are at 350. That is almost half the amount of new listings. That is crazy. It's down 10% year over year. So you can see typically we don't get a lot of new listings in December anyways, because we're only down 35 listings. But to go from November to have almost 800 listings come up and then 350, big drop that month. Let's look at the inventory. Also, I want to mention that 350, I was thinking towards the end of December, it's a good time to sell because there has been a lot of buyer activity on what is listed. And I do think that if the listings, I haven't felt the listings pick up yet, but this is a good time if you're looking to sell to maybe consider putting your house on the market, because you don't have a lot of competition on the market. So serious buyers that are looking, they're going to look at your house. So it might be time to consider, if you were thinking of listing, to pull the trigger and to do it now. We got Alex Hill walking by over there, waving in my window, distracting me. So let's move on to inventory. So inventory, 960 units were on the market in December compared to November, 1278. So we went down month over month, typical of December, but look at this increase. I got to get the highlighter tool there. 430 430 units this increased by. That's crazy. What is that? It's almost double. So almost double again. Yeah, so the amount of listings that are sitting on the market has just increased substantially. So it does show that, you know, with the sales down, there's obviously going to be more inventory because it's not getting sold at such a quick rate. But this is some of the lowest inventory we've actually seen over the last 3 months. It's under 1,000. We've been hitting over the 1,000 mark. A lot of people do take their homes off the market during the holidays, and they plan to relist in the spring just because they don't want to deal with people coming through while they're trying to do holiday celebrations. Months of inventory, we're at 3.4 months, or as they have it, months of supply. Last month was 3. So again, this has increased. For those of you that don't watch this every month, I'm just going to quick breakdown of what this number is and what it means. Essentially, this is how long it would take every house listed on the market right now to sell if no other listings came up. So this is how much it would take to deplete the inventory. So 3.4 months. 0 to 3 months is a seller's market, 3 to 5 is balance, 5+ is buyer's market. So we are officially teetered into a balanced market, although personally to me right now it feels like a bit more of a buyer's market. But you know, you can't really say that because good listings are still selling. When I was out showing properties over the holidays, pretty much everything we were looking at was getting offers. One thing that I'm noticing, people are receiving a lot of offers, but sellers have been unwilling to adjust their price to the current market. So people are coming in with offers that are reasonable for this market, and a lot of sellers are having a hard time wrapping their head around where the market's currently at with prices down. So even though properties are getting a lot of offers, the reason we're not getting as many sales is because sellers are still sticking to their prices like it's 2021, I guess. They're expecting people to fight over it. Unfortunately, things have shifted, which you can see even further in the days on market, 34.3 days. In November, it was 28. So we've seen an increase there. Houses are sitting longer. They're taking longer to sell. Doesn't surprise me. Again, 34 days on market to me is not a crazy long time. Pre-pandemic, it's typical to see 60 days on market. So I still think that this is moving pretty quick, which is why when I see the metric of months of supply being 3.4, saying we're in a balanced market, technically balanced, close to a seller's market, but more so balanced, I see it because 34 days, like this is great. If you can sell your house in 34 days, in my book, like just forget what happened over the last 2 years. It was such an anomaly. We were seeing like 3 weeks, I think was the average on market at one point. 3 weeks was the months of supply at one point. So, and the average days on market was like 7. So to see this, it's actually a lot healthier because it's allowing buyers to take the time, purchase a house that they want, and sellers that are serious about selling, they will sell if you have a good home to sell. You know who's not selling right now? The people that in all the chaos bought homes that backed onto train tracks or were on a major street or possibly had, which some people don't like, hydro towers running across the back. Things like these are properties that sold no problem when things were good, but now that things have slowed down, factors like that can actually affect the resale of your property. So hopefully when you purchase, you were working with somebody that mentioned these things to you, so you were aware of it. But if you have a good home, good location, you're still selling. Let's jump down. I'm not going to take too much longer here, but I want to jump down to see by style of home what's happened. So detached, semi, row, apartment. I don't know why they don't put semi and row together. Like a townhouse and a semi and end unit to me is the same as a semi. And there's barely any sales, 18. I don't know why they don't just combine it. But let's see what the numbers are doing by type of property. So average price of detached homes, $817. Is down 14.9%. So that's actually in correlation with the overall average, right? 14.6. They're down 14.9. Again, detached homes, I did a whole video on why detached are decreasing more than other types of properties. So go back and watch that. It was just, I think it was about a month ago. Very informative if you're wondering why. And it also, it's actually a good time to make a jump from a townhouse into a detached right now. Semi-detached towns. I'm going to ignore semi-detached. We never really talk about it anyways. We're just going to go to row. If you have a semi-detached, I apologize. But row 663, and we're down 12%. And then apartments, 471, down 21%. This is the biggest drop we've seen in apartments. Wow. Because at the start of all this, apartments were actually up at some point, like 3%. If we go back to, I believe it was September or August, we were seeing some crazy numbers on the apartment style. So now to see this, I mean, we're only dealing with a data pool of 28 sales, so it's not like we have a huge pool. The numbers can easily sway based on what units are selling. But to think 471, down 21%. So this is the first time they hadn't really taken a hit yet. So this is the first time we're seeing a hit, but these are also the biggest decreases we've seen. And this is typical of December. I'm going to make a mini prediction here. We'll see if I'm right in a couple months. We're going to start to see these numbers get even bigger because January and February were the two hottest months of that insane market. Like February was the peak. So I think this January and this February, these percentages are going to be negative way more, way bigger negative numbers. So don't be surprised. But hey, end of January, we'll see. We'll see when I make the video in the start of March where we're at. I'm going to remind myself of this prediction. I'm going to make a note and just see how it landed. But that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. But the prices aren't that bad. Like first time buyers, I don't understand why you're not buying a condo. Doesn't make sense to me. For 471, just to get into the market, that's very cheap. That's entry level pricing in Hamilton. And you're going to get yourself a decent condo that you can then use as a stepping stone in a few years to move into a detached property, right? Because if you're going into a row, you still need 663, which I know with the qualifications these days, that's a hard number to get. You got to be making a lot of money or have a big down payment to hit that number. And same with detached. Like I don't know too many people that are buying detached homes as their first house anymore, just because at $817,000 is the average price on one. Who's spending that on their first house? That's why I think right now, like if you're in a detached 663, you can make the jump. Or sorry, if you're in a townhouse at 663, you can make the jump to a detached home for 817. So the gap is a lot smaller. That gap there is less than $200,000. In the peak of the market, we were seeing $400,000-$500,000 gap between townhouses and detached. So if you're in a townhouse, I would seriously consider pulling the trigger to sell that and move into a detached home. Because I honestly don't think we're going to see a gap this small again when rates start to peel back, which sure it could take a year, could take 2 years, but when they start to peel back and prices go back up, I'm telling you that gap is going to grow again. It always does. So now might be the time to start considering making that move. Anyways, I think that's all I wanted to cover in this. We never really look at benchmark months of inventory. I have all of the and so as well in this report, if you were emailed this video, you're going to have this report in the email. If you are watching this just on YouTube, reach out to me using one of the contact informations below, and I'll make sure that I get you this PDF with all the stats, because it will break down by neighborhood. So what region of Hamilton you're in, and then even more specifically, what neighborhood of Hamilton you're in with all the average residential pricing. There's this cool little map there just to show all these little decreases and changes very specifically, which is very confusing to look at right now, so I'm not going to go over it. But that's pretty much it. We don't really talk about the commercial. So anyways, let me know what you guys are thinking. I'm super curious. I was really surprised to see how much condos dropped, but I do think, again, now just seeing how small the gap is between townhouses and between detached, I do think it's a great time to be making that jump. Anyways, watch out for next week. I got a video coming out. I'm going to do a 2023 market outlook, so stay tuned for that, because hopefully we can start to give you some ideas as what at least I think as a real estate professional is going to happen. Of course, who really knows, but I look forward to you guys watching. I look forward to making the video. Anyways, thanks again for tuning in, and I'll talk to you again next week.